System, the 3D experience company.
Yes. 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 One more. Yes! I've won the lot!
Thanks for your donation.
This week on Click, we'll explore the new online game that promises to make you and good causes a lot of money. But how much is up to you. Before that, we'll look at the ongoing battle to keep the net neutral and stop big companies from slowing our service down. And if you've ever been unhappy with the way a movie turns out, we'll pay a visit to the cinema where your subconscious calls the shots. All that plus the latest tech news, and from super tiny to super slow, Webscape has things covered across the scale.
Welcome to Click. I'm Spencer Kelly. Have you ever had the feeling that the internet isn't a freely flowing river of data that you thought it was? Well, it's long been suspected that internet service providers have been blocking or slowing down certain services. But is this just sensible traffic management? Or are the ISPs simply serving their own ends? David Reed reports from France, where there have been calls to make this kind of dabbling illegal.
Getting from A to B online is much like travel in the real world. Hitchhiking can be cheap, but unless you chip in to help cover the costs, you're in danger of being branded, as Google has been, a free rider. Earlier this year, the French internet service provider Free caused a storm when it blocked Google's ads. It claimed that Google hogs bandwidth with its traffic-intensive YouTube without contributing any money at all to the rollout of expensive internet infrastructure. The French government said, yeah, fine, you've made your point. Now put the ads back on, and then proposed a law on net neutrality. Net neutrality is the principle that all data should be treated the same. That means internet service providers should deliver Google's data the same speed as Yahoo's and of cutecats.com or any other website for that matter. As things stand, ISPs can slow down, even stop certain kind of internet traffic. They say they do it to manage the network, preventing peak time snarl-ups so real-time services like YouTube work.
In order to provide quality of service, you have two options. Either you throw bandwidth at it, i.e. you keep expanding your network infrastructure, which is a costly proposition, or you use techniques by looking at the services that are flowing over the network and giving preferential treatment to services that require real-time service like voice, video.
But ISPs have been known to block users from making cheap VoIP calls, Skype and the like, thus forcing them to make calls over their more expensive network. So what happens when ISPs cross that line, go from managing traffic for their customers' benefit to manipulating data flows in their own interests?
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Crossing the line means that they would give a lower preference to a competitor's traffic, for example, one that is not paying them, but it's just using the network to carry the traffic, then it becomes a regulatory issue.
La Quadrature du Net, which campaigns on a raft of internet issues, is convinced net neutrality, equal treatment of all data, is essential to safeguarding free speech and guarantee future business innovation on the net.
On the internet, you just deploy a bit of code that correspond to your new ID, and you just test it. What if I cannot access the users of this or that telecom operator? Would I have to go to them and try to negotiate, to strike a deal? Would I have to have lawyers to do that? So the innovation on the internet lies on the fact that you can access all the users at once. If this becomes untrue, then we lose the benefit.
To date, there are just two countries with net neutrality laws, the Netherlands and Chile. The body advising France's president on digital issues is pondering if the definition of net neutrality in France's law should be wider and take in, for example, search engines.
Internet neutrality has to be accepted not only on the networks, for sure, it is the beginning, it is the first step, but we have really to concern the whole chain of access.
Net neutrality activists believe the focus on Google paying for the traffic it generates is a dangerous distraction, which, if it happened, could even result in Google demanding its content get priority.
The way the debate is framed with the Google must pay for the YouTube traffic of its users is nonsensical. It's the usage that drove the growth of the internet. Along the years, the telecoms operators didn't believe in the internet. So yes, Google must pay. They must pay their taxes. But Google or nobody else should be prioritized on the internet, and nobody should pay for accessing the users of an internet service provider.
With France pondering a net neutrality law, others will now probably do the same. One thing the history of these hot-button internet issues has taught us is that it might be called net neutrality, but the debate will likely get very partisan indeed.
David Reed on the French views of how the internet ought to be run. Now, we'd like to know if this is still a hot topic for you. Do you think net neutrality is still possible going forward? We have the debate on both our Facebook page and our Twitter stream, where we are at BBC Click. So if you've got something to say, do join in. Next up, a brief look at this week's tech news.
Facebook has agreed to remove videos showing brutal decapitation, some of which have resurfaced over the past week. The social network had initially refused to bow to a growing online clamour to take down the shocking footage, arguing that people had a right to describe, depict and comment on the world. Microsoft has tried to steal some of Gmail's thunder by building Skype into its Outlook.com webmail service. That's the one formerly known as Hotmail. The preview is being offered first to UK users who'll be able to use the site to make audio and video calls and send Skype instant messages once they download a browser plugin. Instant messaging on chat apps like WhatsApp have overtaken the traditional SMS text message for the first time. Research outfit Informa said almost 19 billion messages were sent per day on chat apps in 2012, compared to 17.6 billion SMS texts. And that's not good news for mobile operators who've relied on texts as a key money spinner. And finally, on the web's 20th birthday, the Nuclear Research Institute behind its creation has launched a project to recreate the very first web page. CERN says it hopes it will serve as inspiration and a reminder of the web's fundamental values of freely available information and decentralized control. Let's face it, it's hard to remember a world without it, right?
Now, you know that we like to bring you news of anything new or a bit different happening on the web each week. So when we heard that there was a new website giving you the chance to win $1 billion, yes, I did say billion, well, that made us look up from our coffee. So is it just smoke and mirrors to garner attention? Well, yes and no.
Say hello to Jaro. It's a new online game where each player buys a ticket for the equivalent of $10 and then tries to outwit others by hiding numbers in a grid and guessing where their opponent has hidden theirs. Each game will run for a year, or shorter if it attracts its maximum number of players, 134 million, which means up to 27 rounds of a knockout tournament which sees the one remaining player scooping the entire prize pot.
Which, by my calculations, is about $1.3 billion. Or 25 Learjets, 100 super yachts, an island. Nice. But playing the game's not the only thing that you're being asked to do. Players face a moral conundrum too. And here to explain more about it is the game's creator, Anthony Farah. Anthony, welcome to Click.
Thank you.
So you're not just appealing to players' sense of greed here, are you?
No, we're not. We're asking every player to come in and split their ticket and decide how much should go to charity and how much should go to the prize pool. So each person has to make that decision at the very start of the game, and they have to then decide which causes they would like their funds to go to.
And how is the split looking at the moment between charities and personal gain?
It's currently 60% to charity and 40% to the winner.
Now, the game has only just launched a couple of weeks ago. Is there any indication at the moment about what charities players are favouring over other ones?
In the UK at the moment, it's cancer's first, children's second, and poverty's third. But the news could affect it Disaster relief could become more prominent, but it does change between country, even between gender, and all those statistics are available on the site.
Now, what's in it for your company? Are you doing this completely for altruistic purposes, or are you going to make some money off the back of it?
No, the idea behind this is we're a platform. We're providing this service to the community to decide. So we're charging 5% as an administration fee, and that goes to paying off the costs of the technology, the marketing, the legal work that has gone in to put this game together. So
5% of just over $1 billion is a cool $50 million every time you play this game. So,
well, it's a good question. The idea behind this is we at that point have succeeded in raising $1 billion between charity and one lucky winner, and then we would have paid off all those costs that we've had to take a risk for today in producing this product.
And is the game open to absolutely anyone from anywhere in the world?
We've just launched in the UK, and the idea is we're going to roll out over the course of the next 12 months to different countries, and it's a continual activity to turn on new countries. But we've got Belgium, France, and Italy, and a couple of countries in Europe that we intend on rolling out first.
Now, every person that buys a ticket gets to play against at least one other player in this kind of knockout tournament, and it is completely a game of chance, like flipping a coin. You have to arrange the numbers in a certain order. It seems pretty random to me.
It's kind of like numeric battleship in concept, if you like, but as you play the game, your ticket history is kept for the entire world to see. And there is a suggestion that there could be an element of skill if you start to form a habit in how you place the numbers. So people could study each other's numbers and therefore improve their odds of winning.
I'd be hopeless. I'm an open book to everyone. Anthony, thank you very much for your time. We would love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think that there is perhaps a danger in combining charitable giving with gambling, or do you think that it's a great incentive to get more people to give to good causes? Let us know. Email click@bbc.co.uk or tweet us @bbcclick.
And still to come on Click this week, we'll pay a visit to the cinema that's watching you watching it. Plus, how to capture the journey of a lifetime, or just your trip to work in Webscape.